Hello, Spokane. Thank you for listening to another episode today. We are fortunate enough today to have Jesse with the Hutton Settlement and Lisa with Grace and Cakes, both located here in Spokane. Welcome, you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for being here. I also have Katie next to me.
Hello, hello.
Hi. So we're going to learn a little bit about your guys' organization separately and then what you are doing together today. So before we get started, I love to break the ice with you guys. So Jesse, I'm going to start with you. Where can we find you on a summer night in Spokane?
Ooh, tough one. Probably on my back patio next to the pool.
Nice.
Just enjoying company of friends and family.
Awesome. What about you, Lisa?
Well, probably in our front street. Ever since COVID, I have 3 kids and they love to ride bikes with their friends, and that's kind of where we've grown accustomed to this last month or last year.
So pre-COVID, where were you spending a night out, let's say at a restaurant in Spokane? Where would you guys be?
Man, I love the Wild Sage.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be there every night if I could. That's a big favorite of ours.
Awesome. What about you, Jesse?
I'm a huge fan of Remedy, and I love their patio outside. So on the roof.
Awesome.
Love Remedy. We were there the other weekend, and I was like, I could just sit here
Forever.
I could start with brunch, I could go to lunch and dinner, all of the above.
An all-day visitor.
Yeah. Cool. So let's hear a little bit about you guys, maybe your backgrounds, where you grew up, what brings you to Spokane, or what kept you here, basically. Lisa, I'll start with you.
I'm from Littleton, Colorado. Met my husband at Pepperdine University, and we have transplanted around a little bit. Lived in Denver for a bit, and then back in Santa Monica, and then started a family and decided we wanted to move up to Spokane, where he's from, and have just loved it. Love the smaller town. Love that we can buy a home here, or we could. We used to, but that this has really felt like home for us, and so that's
Very
our
cool.
story.
Awesome. How many kids do you have?
3 kids,
Awesome.
under 8, 2 boys and a little girl, and they are full of energy and love them.
Yep. Cool. Jesse, what about you?
Kind of the opposite. I grew up in a small town, Clarkston, just a couple hours south of here. Came up to Spokane to go to Gonzaga. Go Zags.
Nice.
And met my husband. He was at Whitworth, and we got married and stayed in Spokane, and have certainly made it our home. Had a couple jobs, ended up at Hutton Settlement, and it truly is kind of a dream job situation because I get to make a difference every day and spend time with the kids, and it's really rewarding. So love Spokane, love Hutton, and of course the Zags.
Yeah.
You know, Spokey, when they didn't go to Gonzaga anything, but we're like, yes, go Zags. Diehard Zag fans.
Oh. So let's just get started. Tell us what the Hutton Settlement is.
Okay. So the Hutton Settlement is, we just celebrated 100 years in 2019. So 101 years of providing hope, opportunity, and life to kids in Spokane that have experienced a lot of trauma. We've got about 32 kids in residence at one time, and we serve both private placements and then also state placements, so kids that come through the foster care system. Every 32 of those children have very different stories and situations. And so whether it's a failed adoption or, a parent with a terminal illness that needs respite, many of our kids will stay at Hutton for their entire childhood. In 2019, we had 5 kids graduate from Hutton, and the shortest time any one of them was there was 10 years. So it really goes to show that Hutton is more than a placement opportunity. It's truly a forever home and family. And so we're set up to be the only group home like that in the region. And we're so blessed because we feel like that long-term placement opportunity is what helps transformation. And so what we're looking at when kids come to us, they're traumatized, they're insecure, they're scared, they cannot have relationship, they don't see value in themselves. And our hope is that through the journey of staff seeing inherent goodness in each one of those child's eyes through the survival behaviors, that they know that they're loved, that they feel known, they're embraced by a community here in Spokane that loves them and will cheer them on. And so they leave, they graduate high school, and then we also have an 18 to 24-year-old kind of a transitional process, because we understand that family doesn't end at 18. Many of us go off to college, and then we still have our homes to go to during Christmas break or summer vacation, and these children may not have that. And so we have alumni dorms where kids have the opportunity to come back home. And they do. Christmas time at Hutton is chaos.
But it's fun, though, right?
Yeah, it is, absolutely. It means we're doing our job.
Yeah.
So we provide all sorts of extracurricular kind of supplemental education on campus, and that's huge to our process, whether it's gardening, kind of seeing the life cycle and the value of every life, outdoor adventure, culinary arts. We're actually... This is proprietary information. Nobody else knows yet, but we're actually starting a coffee roasting business. So the kids will be launching that. We got a great grant from the Hagen Foundation. We purchased a commercial roaster, and they'll be distributing coffee.
That's so cool.
That is so awesome.
Yeah.
I love that you guys refer to Hutton as home. I think so many group homes, it's just a place. It's a place for these kids. It's not home. So I think that's a really cool. I love that you guys use that term. That's awesome.
And what's incredible to me is the founder 101 years ago, he said, I don't want this to ever feel like an institution. This is a neighborhood and a family. And so, Lisa's been out to campus, and she's seen what that looks like. And it's residential homes with group care. It's not shift work. So the parents that live with the kids, we call them our house parents.
Sure.
They live 24 hours a day with them. They raise their own children in these same homes. And so it's not an institution feel at all. It's truly a family of 50 plus people.
So is it the same as foster care?
It's an option.
Okay.
I'd say it is not. If I had to kind of make, I'd call it a group foster home, because you have the group care aspect of congregate care, but it's not one small family, right? I think we're kind of the best of both worlds, because we have the systems in place where we've got support staff. We're a traditional foster family. The resources that family has to put out is incredible, the energy that it takes. And so we have that support system, but it's still, the kids are raised in a family setting.
Very cool. What are the age ranges of children, or is there a certain age where they can come in? And
We have kids placed from anywhere between 5 and 18.
okay.
We actually, this will probably make me cry, but we had 2 little boys, 7 and 11, just placed a few weeks ago. Well, I guess about a couple months ago now. And they're our newest kiddos. And it's incredible to see, especially when younger kids come, when they experience security for the first time in their lives. And one of them has dance parties every single night in the cottage. Every night I get Snapchats of him just jamming out. And the other one just asks about 101 questions all the time, constant. But they're secure. They feel safe.
I love it.
They feel loved.
Very cool. And Lisa, Grace and Cakes, tell us about your organization.
Okay. Well, we are definitely not 101 years old. That is incredible. We are fresh. We incorporated in October 2019. I was a stay-at-home mom for about 6 years and fell in love with baking birthday cakes for our kids and discovered a talent that I didn't really know I had. And through that love, decided, well, maybe I'll start maybe a little side gig and start selling cakes on the side. And quickly learned that wasn't really something that spoke to me. It wasn't a passion of mine, but I made a unicorn cake for a 4-year-old friend of ours, and my husband, who's just always had a love for kids, and especially once we had them, understanding the needs, both emotionally and just physically, that kids need, has an extra compassion for it, and said, just out of the blue, what if you donated that cake to a foster child? Could you imagine what they would think about that? And I loved the idea. I immediately was just like, wow, that is so cool. I'm going to definitely see what comes of it. So posed that question to our Instagram followers, and within 4 hours had 8 months filled. Said, I'm going to donate some cakes. Who's interested in the foster community? And they loved it. They loved the idea. And I was just charmed by the families representing these kids. I mean, they were just grateful. They said, thank you so much for the gesture. Even if we don't receive one, we just appreciate being acknowledged. What a neat thing to do. Yeah. And immediately knew that's the direction I wanted to take. And so started donating a few cakes from my home and realized there's a much greater need, and kind of made a decision early on, and this was kind of during the COVID time as well, that we wanted to work with professional bakers, small businesses in the community, versus folks donating from their home. Just from an efficiency standpoint, they're used to customer service, delivering on dates, and also just the sanitary side of things, and just making sure everything was where we wanted it to be. And knocked on a few doors and spoke with some bakers, and slowly started getting yeses. And it's been really neat to see the love from the baking community grow. We call them our Sweet Fleet members. Those are bakers who donate cakes, a lot of them doing it monthly to kids. And so we serve as a connection point between foster families and our Sweet Fleet members to say, hey, here's a connection between the two of you, now go. And they work together to create a custom birthday cake for these kids. And bakers are also able to donate directly to the families. So they really see their labor of love come to life when they, some are able to give it directly to the kids, and others to the families, and see that emotion and hear the stories, and just see the difference that their efforts are really making. And so we had this program established and going, and really wanted to look at, okay, what about kids who aren't represented by foster parents and don't have those advocates out there getting cakes for them? And so my husband and I have always gone to Hutton Settlement's tree fundraiser every Christmas time, and just their facilities are amazing, and the kids are out there selling the trees, and just an incredible environment. So we thought, let's start there. Let's see if they have a need, and decided to reach out and say, hey, we'd love to support you all and give you a little birthday party every month to connect with these kids, and show them that the community is behind them, and that they're loved and special, and what can we do? And Jesse and the team have been fantastic to work with, and we kicked off our birthday bash program in January, where we provide mini cakes for each individual celebrating their birthday that month, which are these adorable 4-inch cakes that are so cute. We work with a Sweet Fleet member of ours, the Pastry and More, who makes those, and then provide cupcakes for the staff and residents. And
very cool.
Give the kids some refreshments and happy birthday banner, and some $30 Amazon gift cards, so they can go off and choose a gift that's special to them. So it's been neat to hear that it's made a difference, and I think that the staff likes the nod and maybe the ease of having something planned every month. We do it the last Wednesday of every month, and the idea and the goal is to make it easy. Not something that's a big ordeal, but something where we can give those kids a nod and help the staff.
Very cool. Jesse, what kind of impact have you seen, in the short time that you've been doing it? What have you seen within in the Hutton Settlement?
Yeah, well, when Lisa first contacted us, I think our initial thought was the ease factor, right?
Yeah.
What I'd say the biggest impact is we've got 32 kids with different situations, and some of them have contact with their families, some of them don't. Some of them have what we call friendship families, some of them don't. And so some of them feel really loved on their birthdays, and some of them it's a really triggering time because they don't have those relationships. And so what this partnership has helped us do is really standardize that process and make sure each child has an opportunity to be celebrated uniquely on their special days during that month. And so I love the idea behind the name Grace and Cakes too, because I think that the children, at Hutton, or the children that you're serving, they're often the kids that society kind of casts away. And these kids deserve all of the grace and more. And so we're certainly grateful. And the first month we were like, what are we doing? What are we doing? And I know Lisa probably felt that same way, but it has been incredible to see the donors step up and say, we want to provide this experience, because as somebody who's had a quote unquote normal childhood, birthdays are some of our most special memories, and these kids don't have that. And so to be able to give them something relatively normal is that much more meaningful.
Oh,
And that's what's been neat, you guys are all sponsoring the month of April, and we're so grateful. And this is a really cool way to support two organizations by having a really tangible thing to provide. You are creating this birthday party for these kids. And so it's also been a neat thing for us as a nonprofit to find a program that kind of brings in community and involvement and sponsorships to do such that. Sure. So it's been a really special program so far.
Awesome.
Oh, love hearing that. So question, you had mentioned the Spokane, or how Hutton does the trees, the Christmas trees. Yes. Are you able to talk a little more to that in just a way that Spokane can support you guys through this time?
Yeah, so we, the Christmas tree kind of fundraiser that Lisa mentioned is really, historically, has kind of been Hutton's only fundraiser, which is it's a good opportunity. We're 100% privately funded. We don't take any government money, which has helped us stay true to that 101-year-old mission. Between 80 to 90, actually last year, about 95% of our budget actually comes from commercial real estate. So we have a portfolio of about 22 commercial properties, and the income from the rentals that the tenants pay is actually what funds our operations.
That is awesome.
And so we're incredibly blessed, and then the rest is covered by just generous donors. And what that has done is it's allowed us to really focus on what we're doing. But this Christmas tree farm has kind of been a cornerstone to Hutton. Like when somebody says, I have no idea what Hutton is, if you mention the Christmas tree farm, you're like, oh yeah, I know what that is. So every year it's the day after Thanksgiving we start, and then we go until we sell out. We have a U-cut tree farm, which is pretty lean right now. And then we bring in about 800 pre-cut trees from Oregon, and the kids do it all. They unload the truck, they sell the trees, they learn all about the trees. They're doing the work out there. Yeah. And so they get paid to work that. But then the remaining funds, that's actually what funds our education programs every year. And so it's an incredible opportunity for the kids to learn a little bit about entrepreneurship, get some job skills, make some extra money. Love it. And engage the community in a really important cause. So that's certainly, the problem with it is the last couple of years we've sold out in like 8 days. So we're getting more. So this next year we're planning on kind of taking it a step up and making it more of a Christmas market and Christmas experience. So we'll have handmade goods that the kids have done, coffee will be there. Throughout the year, this coffee venture could be really interesting because we already have a lot of demand and we haven't even started yet. So that's one way. I'd say the biggest way the community can support Hutton is to share a little bit about it. It's one of Spokane's best kept secrets. Yeah. Off of Upriver Drive, over, right 319 acres right underneath of Arbor Crest, and nobody has any idea the work that's going on out there. So
do you allow people to come up and just tour the grounds, or is that something that you prefer that, people...
It's a private home, so we definitely ask people to respect that. Yep. We do regular tours if there are groups that are interested in that. That's pre-COVID. Yep. So right now we're kind of restricted in that. But if somebody's interested in that, I'd love to connect with them and see how we could show them a little bit more about our work.
Yeah. Lisa, how can people that are listening today support you and your mission?
Well, that's something that we're continuing to learn how to explore that area. But we did just create a webpage, graceandcakes.com/help. And that's where we're kind of directing people to get kind of the most updated information on how we can best be supported right now. There's also a sign up to learn about volunteer opportunities in the future. As we continue to grow, we're going to keep finding ways to find those opportunities. But really that's something as we're continuing to move forward, just building awareness. And so sharing with foster families what we do and to direct them to our website is a huge way, because we want to make sure we're able to serve as many kids as we can. Supporting the small businesses that support us. So our Sweet Fleet members is an excellent opportunity. They don't ask us to promote that, but we certainly like to, because they're how we run. And so we want to make sure that anyone that's able to give them their business is able to do that.
Are you allowed to say who they are?
They're on our website.
Okay.
Okay.
Definitely. I try to keep that updated.
Yep.
And it's a slew of awesome bakers that I would highly recommend each and every one of them.
Very cool.
I was gonna say it's probably hard to list them off because you're like, shoot, if I forget one, I'm gonna feel terrible.
Yeah, so I try to keep them on there. They say our Sweet Fleet members on there.
Oh, that's so cool.
But they're talented, man. Spokane has some amazingly talented bakers, and so and the nicest people.
Very cool.
So, and then obviously financial donations are incredibly valuable as we continue to hire staff to focus on different areas and to expand our reach into other regions and other cities in the inland Northwest. Financial means are top priority too.
Awesome.
Yep.
Well, as we wrap things up, where can people find you on social media? We just got your website. Is the Hutton on social media?
Yeah, we are. Facebook and Instagram are our primary ones. And then we have a great website as well, huttonsettlement.org.
Awesome. Cool. And you're on Instagram. I follow you.
Yeah, we're on Instagram and Facebook, and we created a Pinterest page too to highlight some of our cakes.
Awesome.
Ooh.
Okay.
So yeah, that would be awesome.
Very
to
cool.
continue to follow.
Well, you guys, thank you so much for being here. I had no idea. This is all new to me, and I'm totally inspired by both of you. And just thank you guys both really for what you're doing in Spokane and for the youth of Spokane, because they're our next generation. So just kudos to you for putting your time and hearts into all of this.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And thank you to the Farr group also for sponsoring April and being game
We
to
cannot
join
wait.
in with us. I mean, that is
so
I wish we could
excited.
party with them.
I know that was
wish we
what we
could go
asked
to
and
their
with
dance
COVID
parties.
and
Yeah.
but that's incredible leadership in the community, and we are just so grateful for that. And so thank you.
Yes. Awesome. Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.